the kind of intimacy that's shared in with a husband and wife.
Yeah.
There's no other relationship that was intended for that.
But what our focus really today, though, is just that intimacy outside of the bedroom or outside of the act of sex itself. How we fuel that and realizing the importance of that. And really, I think the stronger your whole intimate piece is, the better the physical intimacy is.
Thanks for joining the Home Matters Podcast with Eric and Gena Boggs, where they lead authentic, raw discussions about marriage, family life, kids, intimacy, and sex from a biblical perspective. Here's your host, Eric and Gena Boggs.
Well, and it's time for Home Matters again.
Welcome to Home Matters.
That's right. It comes out Wednesday morning, 5 a.m. So if you're listening to us
it's 5:30.
I don't know. I thought it was 5.
When do we finish the recording? Like at
4:30.
4:30. We're glad you joined us. Again, if it comes out 5, I think it is 5 now that you said that.
I think so.
But wherever you are listening, it can be later in the day, work, rest, or play.
Might be midnight.
Yeah. Might be the thing you listen to going to sleep at night. Who knows?
Oh, my goodness.
Might have earbuds in and listening right now. Wake up!
That wasn't nice. That was nice to somebody. You loved that, didn't you?
I did. I thought that was pretty.
Listen, we're just glad that you tuned in. Glad you're listening.
Always.
We are headed into spring where we live, and I'm excited about that. Little sweatshirt weather today, but sometimes it kind of have warm days, and then you have a cool day. But anyway, Home Matters Podcast 93. We are talking about intimacy today.
Oh, yeah.
Intimacy.
I like it.
Outside
the
bedroom. And,
we realize that as you live life, again, intimacy, let me preempt everything we say. Okay. Intimacy with men is not always a given that we understand that.
We're going to try to help you a little bit today.
Okay, but just to make clear that intimacy, we're not just talking about sex, because sometimes when we hear that word, I don't know why
you think of
it just kind of shifts to that.
Well,
I don't know.
That's important.
For some of every man may not be that way, but for a lot of men, I think it's that way.
Okay, well, for you're speaking from your own experience, right?
Yep. We try to make sure we hit the subject, though, right? We try to make sure, because we don't believe there's enough healthy intimacy. I always say it this way. I always bring this to light. I've never dealt with couples that are calling it quits that have a good, healthy, intimate life. Never.
And that's not just the sex.
Okay? No.
Although that is important, we don't want to diminish the importance of that physical intimacy in your life. But the whole intimate piece, the closeness, the oneness, the communication, all those
the love relationship, what it's intended to be.
That relationship that God has given us, that He has only given a husband and a wife.
What He intends it to be.
Yeah,
Again,
so
they're one from the beginning. Father and his mother, man leaves his father and mother, cleaves his wife. They're one flesh.
Become one.
And again, it's something that He intended for the marriage relationship of a husband and wife.
That's right.
It's God's design. So if you try to make that happen anywhere else, it's not there, right?
That's right. Not God's design. So that intimate piece, that sexual relationship is important. Yeah. God puts a premium on it. We say that all the time. You can have an intimate relationship in other relationships, but that part of your intimate relationship is meant for one person, right?
Yeah, and I don't think that you can have an intimate relationship like you have with your wife or your husband.
Correct.
None of the others compare because of the knowing factor. No one should know you.
That's right.
No one should know you to the degree or to the depths that you know your spouse.
Maybe I should just use the word
you can have close, intimate relationships,
right.
But the kind of intimacy that's shared with a husband and wife, there's no other relationship that was intended for that.
But what our focus really today, though, is just that intimacy outside of the bedroom or outside of the act of sex itself. How we fuel that and realizing the importance of that. And really, I think the stronger your whole intimate piece is, the better the physical intimacy is.
Yeah. The intimacy outside the bedroom
affects
the intimacy inside of the bedroom, where it may also be about your sexual relationship.
That's right.
What God intended for you. So again, it's something that, again, we don't make any apologies saying that, that you should have a good sexual relationship.
Right.
That you realize the importance of it. Mm-hmm. But that can never take the place of your intimate relationship. Intimacy can include sex. Mm-hmm. But sex can exclude intimacy.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Say that again. That's good.
Well, intimacy, it includes sex, but sex can exclude intimacy. Or in other words, sex can be an act that really is not a result of the intimate relationship that you have together as a husband and wife.
Exactly. But the way Jesus orchestrated it, I believe, and the way that he meant for it to operate in the life of a husband and wife is the two should feed one another.
Right.
The sexual relationship feeds the intimacy.
It's the climax of your intimate relationship.
That's great language.
Pun intended, yeah.
That's right.
But with that, again, we realize that, man, that God, that's what he created, this relationship. That's what he created for this relationship.
That's right.
I've often said, people say sex is not a big deal, then don't read the Bible, because God made it a big deal, such a big deal that it was only given for one person, one relationship. Ideally, originally, that's the intent. And, people that say, well, marriage isn't about sex. Well, you'd have a disagreement with one of the writers of the New Testament named Paul, because Paul said, you get married so you don't burn with passion.
That's right.
That's one of the reasons, or one of the purposes.
And
so again, it's something that you cannot dismiss or discount.
That's right.
But the whole intimate relationship is what we're focusing on today.
Right. The fact that, that intimacy should go on in your marriage relationship all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just when you are having the sexual encounter.
Yeah.
Right? But it should be a part of our everyday life.
It should be the fuel to the fire.
That's right.
It should ignite the romance, the sexual relationship. All that should be ignited through your intimate connection, your intimate relationship.
Yeah, and I think, of course, there issues or problems or changes that we come upon in our physical body that we have to deal with. You may need help from a doctor. You may need help from good Christian counselor for that sexual relationship to be what it needs to be. But I also believe when this intimate part of your life is right, it helps fuel that passion in our life, that drive in our life, even for that sexual relationship. So some of the ways that we can build intimacy outside the bedroom in just our day-to-day life, let's talk about some of those.
All right.
Where are we going to start?
You start.
Well, I would say an embrace, a touch.
You love to be hugged.
I do love to be hugged.
I love to hug, and I love to touch. So again, that's a good thing, right?
That works out good for us. It's physical affection that is not sexual.
That's right.
Yeah.
What we call non-sexual affection.
Yeah.
And again, a big part of a marriage should be non-sexual affection. Right.
But I think a lot of times, we women, and it may be that we need that more, but I do think that that's something it's not just something a woman needs. I think that there can be affection that I have toward you, whether it's a touch, just reaching over and holding your hand.
We always emphasize the fact that women need non-sexual affection.
That's what I'm saying. It's always emphasized that way.
But men need non-sexual affection too. The problem, I think, comes with the read from a man's place, because again, if he reads it as "I want sex," then that's a problem. And
if he always reads my grabbing his hand as that means sex. That can be a problem.
That's what I'm saying. Anytime our non-sexual affection is read the wrong way.
I understand. Yeah.
But with that, again, I read that oxytocin is actually released through hugs.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's the hormone that's
probably
released
read it before, but it
sex,
didn't register.
If you don't know what that is. But yeah, that's released during hugs.
It's that good hormone that's released for energy, for that fun releases, that enjoyment releases.
That's right. So
that sex releases. For a woman, sex oxytocin's released and makes her talkative. For a man, it's like a sleeping pill. So again, he goes to sleep usually because he's more relaxed. But
for the intimacy outside the bedroom, I think we have to be intentional about making sure that there's physical affection even when we know we can't have sex right now.
Right. That's right. Good point.
Okay. Is that a good one? What about being vulnerable?
Yeah. And you're
building intimacy.
Yeah. And just the openness, being exposed.
Yeah.
Really letting somebody in.
Yeah. And again, I can just speak from the woman's side, That's just who I am. But I'm just saying, for a woman to feel like she is a part of your life, connected to your day, connected to what happened. Now, girls, give him a break, okay? How was his day? It's pretty good. Nothing major. I mean, sometimes we just got to go with it, okay?
You might not get a lot of details.
You might not get a lot of details. Right? That's what I'm saying. But just
I think that men, though, just opening up and being vulnerable about their feelings, that kind of stuff, that's hard to do because, again, we don't have a lot of feelings. Or we're not as emotional as
I don't know.
Creatures.
I've known some very emotional
men. Maybe so, but I think
y'all
you've known some very emotional men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not denying that. I think, we're emotional.
I'm not saying you're real
but
emotional.
As far as knowing how to expose those feelings.
How to express them. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
Again,
I'll give you that.
And we feel sometimes, I think men feel like they're really been
drilled?
No, like they're being too soft if they really express all their emotions and feelings. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I think it's just the fact of being vulnerable.
Yeah. Yep. Being exposed.
Willing to be open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing, right?
Yeah.
That's where we know each other.
To be known.
Yep.
All right. Something else outside the bedroom. What about this one? Kindness. Like words, actions. Just that is really building intimacy, I think.
Yeah.
Agree? Disagree?
Yeah. Sometimes kindness and niceness are, to me, two different things.
You don't want to be nice?
I think that sometimes we can be nice and it not really be motivated by kindness. I need to dig a little deeper on that, I think. But
you mean just being nice to get what you want?
Yeah, I think nice is an action.
Okay.
Kindness
is a hard issue.
Kindness is more of an attitude. It's more of a heart's position. And I think that's the reason kindness is so important. That our attitude, our approach, our disposition toward one another, that it's not something that's wrapped in a facade, that it's really my heart toward you, that I'm kind, that I'm generous, that I'm giving, that I'm looking for your good, that I want to treat you in a way I
like this. Keep going.
That you're that you're delicate, that you're cherished, that you're prized, that you're valued. And that's where kindness, I think, comes from.
That definitely builds intimacy in a relationship.
Oh yeah. And that comes both ways too.
Yeah, for sure.
I've known a lot of times with wives that they're not very nice.
True.
Or they're not very kind, but they can put on a nice front.
Right. I see what you're saying. I think it's our appreciation for one another, our willingness to serve one another, just building that into our life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we probably didn't talk about that much.
What you mean?
That whole thing with kindness. Again, I just think there's so much that, that we can be geared toward. There's so many different things and approaches toward life and each other that can be geared out of other motives. But boy, what a great way to develop, to grow your intimate relationship.
It's not out of a selfish motive. I'm not being kind. I'm not being nice, just so others will think I am, or so you'll do what I want you to do.
Right.
But it's truly out of a genuine want and desire to be good to you.
Yeah.
As Christ is good to us.
I think there's an appreciation in that itself.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Intimacy, building it.
Yep. The other one, I would say the next thing we probably is just sometimes we need to just stop, just to slow down.
Slow down.
Yep.
Take a day off.
Yeah.
Or
get off the clock.
Man, if you can't even take a day off, can you just have a meal together? I mean, we talk about date nights all the time, but I mean, maybe a breakfast or, a cup of coffee sitting on the back deck or the porch or whatever, a walk. I know you and I like to go on a walk together.
Yep.
Whether it's for exercise or just, to enjoy the scenery. Sometimes we're out of town and try to walk around a hotel or whatever just to see, what's there.
Just that time together.
Just that time together that we break out of the busyness of our life.
Get out of the routines.
For intimate moments. Man, busyness and tiredness, exhaustion will kill intimacy.
Get out of the routines, that become ruts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do need the getaways. We do the Marriage Matters getaways. And we call it that on purpose because we hope that we kind of break the routine and break out of the ruts and kind of come back together again. I think that's so important for every marriage to have a point of reset, that you have places that you go or things you do that kind of give you a reset, that brings you back down to where you are in your love relationship. And, and again, that's things that are normal parts of life or regular activities in life.
Yeah, I mean, there are things we have to be responsible for and things we have to do and, job, you got to work. But I think for intimacy really to be built in your life, there has to be those places where you're willing to step away from everything else and say, all right, this is priority. We got to have some time here. We got to reset. We got to build our love, build our intimate part of our life. It's when we do that, we show that there's some value there.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, what about playing?
You mean outside the bedroom, right?
Yes, we're talking about outside the bedroom.
I like to play in the bedroom
we
too.
Went.
But
his brain went back again.
Again, playful toward one another. That flirtatiousness, that always adds. Again, that's fuel to the fire.
Just fun. I mean, just
enjoying
sending
life
a flirtatious text. Just maybe code words. You know what those mean, and other people around don't know what those mean. Just being adventurous. I think that just builds fun into your life and excitement into your life, intimacy into your life.
Yep. And again, it's something that should be, again, you may be in a season where there's not much fun, but again, you should have fun together.
That's right.
You should laugh together. We always say, man, you got to find those places and take the medicine that the Bible prescribes, that a merry heart's like a medicine. Laughter's good for you. It's good for your relationship.
That's right.
You got to play together. Do things you enjoy together. If it's watch a silly movie and there are not many out there. I was thinking the other day, we had some time off and we watched several movies, and that is so rare for us. Probably something we could do better with as far as stopping. But it is so rare. People ask all the time, have you seen this or seen this? But
we don't stop long enough
we
to
don't do that. Yeah, we don't.
We should. It's hard to find a good movie.
And that's the other piece. The reason I said that is because, we tried to watch a funny movie together.
Yeah.
And it was all right, but it's really kind of stupid. I mean, it's not really funny.
It wasn't really funny. You're right.
Didn't have enough bathroom humor or something. Guys always think that stuff's funny, but Dumb and Dumber kind of funny. It's kind of stuff like that. It's so silly and stupid, but give you something to laugh at. But I said all that because sometimes we just don't stop, take the time to do those things.
But that builds intimacy in your life, right? Yep. Can we just end here and just say, create an atmosphere around your life that's conducive for intimacy.
Yeah. And again, on the daily, right?
Every single day.
And even at times when, maybe sex is not something that is happening.
That's right.
It'd be sad to think that, I'm only going to be intimate. I'm only going to take the steps toward intimacy when I think that it may come to sex.
Yeah.
And men and women do that. Men
That's
are
true.
Usually we're the
again, we
that
relegate
usually.
Intimacy to just the act of sex itself. But when we realize that should be a part of our everyday life, I should always be, touching, holding hand, encouraging, showing appreciation, being kind, helping and serving one another. All that builds intimacy into your life.
And let's finish with this. If you want a good, intimate, if you want it to be hot in the bedroom, then make sure outside of the bedroom.
That's right.
That if you want it hot inside, then outside, let's make sure that we're allowing our intimate relationship
in the kitchen
to flourish. Yeah, they start in the kitchen.
That's right.
But they start at the breakfast table. I think that's Gary Smalley said that.
Was it?
Intimacy. He said foreplay starts at the breakfast table.
It's all day long.
All day.
That's right.
Hey, nurture that part of your life. Married couples, nurture that relationship. You won't regret it.
Man, we love you. We're going to see you next time.
Bye-bye.